how to reprogram yourself from negative self-talk so you can thrive as a parent. Because for me, in my story, negative self-talk was causing me so much anger towards myself. As I mentioned in several of the videos about shame and critical thinking and guilt, it's like that was my way of punishing myself. So that way I didn't do a behavior again. And it didn't work. It didn't help. It didn't make things stop. It only honestly intensified them. And our brain, it just, all it wants to do is see the bad and confirm the bad, right? It's like it likes negativity because that's its protective mechanism. It's how it's going to keep us safe, but it's not always useful. And so we need to train our brain when that is useful and when it's not useful. And so most of the time, that negative self-talk about ourselves is not useful. That's why I explained in the video about feeling shame as a parent. It's like that is not, shame is not helping you to be a better parent. Guilt will help you. Guilt is a motivator. It's kind of like this red flag that alerts you like, hey, you could do this differently next time. And the shame is really this core belief. But I explain more about that in that video. So if you want to listen to that, you can head over there. But I remember the phrase, I am the worst mother ever. Why am I so mean to my kids? I hate that I am an angry parent. Like, these were the words that were filled in my subconscious. And I needed to figure out how to change that. I needed to figure out how to make a kinder, more loving, compassionate, empathetic talk to myself. And I think that when I started doing, there's 4 things that I did to start getting rid of these negative words, subconscious phrases in my mind. I think that I didn't realize that I didn't have to be that way. I didn't have to be so mean to myself. I could actually see a heck of a lot more progress and change with loving myself, having compassion for myself, talking kindly to myself, just as I would a friend. And when I stopped focusing on the negative of myself, and I really started to look for all the ways that I was a good mother, I was a peaceful mother, I was a slow, calm mother, the more I was able to do that, because my brain started looking for all the ways that I was doing that. And the more that I was doing it and I was enjoying it, I was like, I want to do more of this. I'm going to do this every day. I want to do this all the time. How can I do more of this? And so how do you reprogram? How do you reprogram your brain so you can let go of these negative phrases, this negative self-talk? So the first thing that I would do is take note of all your subconscious thoughts. You can write these in a journal. You can write them on your phone. You could literally just take a mental note and say, what are these negative subconscious thoughts going on? And for me, it was, what I mentioned earlier, I'm the worst mother. Why am I so mean? Why do I yell all the time? It was these phrases, and a lot of them were confirming of a belief. And so that's step 2 here, is understanding the belief. This is what I help, again, my coaching clients to do, is like, let's figure out what is going on beneath these subconscious thoughts. Let's understand your core belief. If your core belief is, I am an angry parent, let's understand that. Let's understand what the negativity is and where it comes from. So that is really digging back into your story, digging back into how you were parented, and making a coherent story of why you are the way you are, why you have this belief. This third thing that you want to do is look for a more supportive belief. And I really cringed when I first heard about the I am statements, but it really made sense when I started studying guilt and shame. And I understood that, I am, bad, as Brene Brown mentions, is like that is shaming yourself. It's this deep core belief. And that guilt of, I did something bad is really motivating us, right? So looking for a more supportive belief of I am calm, I am kind, I am loving, any of those is going to help our brains to start looking for that. It's going to help us start saying, how am I a peaceful mom? And the more that we see it, like I love writing these and putting them on my fridge, which I know is like totally like, okay, Alexis, we've all heard of I am statements, but it's different when you've understood the reason why you have that deep core belief. I am not saying that these positive I am statements are for me, they're toxic positivity, right? Like, we don't want to just be like, I am kind, I am loving, I am grateful, I am, that's toxic positivity, and that's not doing anything. We are literally just taking one piece of this puzzle, one limiting belief. We are making this brand new supportive belief that is going to help you to become a better parent. And then we're going to make a baby step. So, this is step 4. You're going to make a baby step towards living out this new belief. And, in the I am angry example, again, we could go to like, I am, calm, or I am peaceful. I'm a peaceful parent. And maybe instead of coming in at your kids and being like, what's going on? Why are we all, maybe you actually step back and then you get low. That's all you're going to do. That doesn't mean that you're not going to yell. That doesn't mean that you're not going to do any of the other stuff. But let's just work on a baby step. And I think that that is going to help parents to start actually implementing these and seeing real change, because we want to actually change these things. We don't want to, like, my biggest fear is like toxic positivity. I do not want anybody to get so engulfed in really using positive statements to make themselves feel positive. It does work, and it'll work for a period of time, but it's not a forever thing. And it's not really changing the wiring, which in neuroplasticity, that is what is taught, is like you can completely rewire the brain, but it takes a lot of little baby steps and work, and it can happen, and it's absolutely possible.